Daily Broadside, day 386. I passed two people today on the highway, two different times, two different highways, driving those pole cars, you know, that for oversized loads and whatnot. That's a weird business model. One of them said Sean's pole business or Sean's pole pilot car business, whatever. You gotta ask, like, what does it take to get into that business? Well, I own a Ford Fusion and I stuck a 19-foot pole to the front bumper and I drive down the highway listening to podcasts. It's got to be a pretty lethargic job if all you do is just drive and move houses and whatnot to other places. And then how often are you really, dealing with problems in that job? I mean, you'd be an idiot to, whatever the lowest bridge is. Surely you've scouted that out. There's probably some app that tells you what size bridge is everywhere in America. So you'd be kind of dumb to, put a 23-foot truck together on a 19.4 bridge. So really, you got to figure you go your whole career with nary a problem, And if there was a problem, I bet that's got to be a pucker factor. You're riding along in your Ford Fusion and your little bar rams into the top and you're like, oh crap, you radio back, stop the house, and the house gets stopped. But then again, they're not really that far back, so I guess I got enough time to brake. And then they stop the house on the highway. I don't know what they do then. I guess they either let the air out of the tires and drop it down, or they have to back up a house a couple miles to the last exit. It's got to be a nuclear incident when that happens, but again, it probably never happens. And Sean just rolls on. What does that pay, Other than you just wear out your car. I'm sure it's not his main personal car. It's probably just his work Fusion, right? It'd be kind of weird going out on a date and your date's like, why is there a 19-foot pole on the front of your car? And they're like, man, I'm a pilot car, bitch. This is what I do. This is what's paying for this lobster dinner tonight in the Ford Fusion. And he's got like the big mirrors, that oversized from what comes on the Ford Fusion stock. I don't know, man. It's just kind of a weird business model, if you ask me. In my opinion, barbecue is a noun, not a verb. And a sled, what do they call it? A toboggan. It's a hat, not a sled. You know what I mean? And I admit that I judge people harshly by their choice of lawnmower. It's that time of year, you be riding around, and you see somebody on some cheap little Lowe's John Deere, and you just roll your eyes. I'm a hustler man myself. I've had a hustler for a little over a decade, and that thing is commercial grade, zero turn magnificence. I love it. One of the best things I've ever purchased. It's just been great. But I studied long and hard. Should I get a Skag? Should I get a Bad Boy? Should I get a Cub Cadet? Maybe a Kubota? Whatever. Went with the hustler. And then it's been great. And people that buy cheap lawnmowers, I think you're fake Americans, you know what I mean? And I gotta tell you, I think I know. If my parents had been like overly rich, I just grew up in a middle-class family. We weren't destitute or poor, but we weren't, riding around in my box and stuff. But I think if my parents had been ridiculously rich, they would have instilled the same values in me that I have in me now, right? And that's what makes me abhor wealthy people, especially their offspring, that are just entitled pricks. It's so annoying and beyond annoying, right? Just because you got money in life and you can buy yourself out of some problems, eventually life's going to hit you in a place where you can't get daddy to pay your way out of things, and it just drives me nuts. I love it when you meet rich people that are down to earth and grounded, either because they came from nothing and built it, or because they just recognize that they ain't much better than everybody else just because, their tax bracket and all. And I think that's what most rich people should aspire to. Quit living in your little glass house and your little bubble, thinking that you don't have anything bad about you, because you do. You got several things, not the least of which is your entitled, pompous prick offspring. Hey, giddy up.